turned to a bad guy. You know, there's a lot, and I'm backing that out up in my ear. It's been talking. I really holler, just back in the college. I can get broken in college. I'm a big in ears, talking in your talking to college, and talking to coach. There with the college, the town was up with the college, and how the talking just talking. I put the jack in the swallow. It's just 52 hate, 52 hate. The minute we time to this swallow, the way the fact that we're on the feel it, chances of Harry and heaven just gone. Signs of a bad guy, man. Like the story of a bad guy, man. Mm. Come on, I'm rolling. There. Shout out to Mercy Ann for showing the Real World J podcast show. The story of a bad guy. Cause there's a story behind everything. Cause like you can ask a person at the end of the day, you can ask a woman, you can ask a man, like, okay, but you see how that, because at the end of the day, the story that this to see, because of the story of a bad guy is like, I'm gonna break it down to you, too simple as this. You know how you can see someone, man or guy, man or woman, or whatever the case may be, and you can see them and see my first thought is like, how did they get there? And majority of the time, how they got there by themselves. Especially if it takes an individual and they in a certain situation, and then now it takes another individual to help get them there. Then what's the story behind that? What's the real story? Because that matters too. Because then you can also find out how to fix whether it's broken, damaged, or you want to call it destroyed, shattered, traumas by, man, you probably got cut a little bit, whatever the case may be. But because sometimes because when you know the story, you can understand the reason. Sometimes they are who they are. So who they trying to betray? Because usually if you're trying to betray something, you're not healed about it, you just covered it up with a big band-aid and everybody see it because that's what you're betraying. That's not who you are. Real World J podcast show. Let's go. I'm already gonna drop I'm already gonna try and drop the shoes and whatever it can be. And shout out to everybody who listens. Appreciate you. Shout out to Moon. Shout out. And then so like since this is the Real World J show, you know what I'm saying? Like I can only, you know what I'm saying? Like I love talking about, you know what I'm saying? My struggles and you know what I'm saying, and my, you know what I'm saying, whatever, because it's, you know what I'm saying, like this is the Real World J podcast show, talk show too. So I'm just saying, anybody that ever want to punch in, and anybody want to, hit the ask button to, you know what I'm saying, join the show. If you want to, anybody on YouTube Live who's watching that who want to comment, keep on commenting, you know what I'm saying, and if you want to join live and anywhere, we're good like that. And shout out to myself, Real World J show. Shout out to Mark 2.5, host of the Real World J show. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my brother. Shout out to my brother. Much love to him. I talk to him. I texted him the other day and tell him I was having a boy. I found out I was having a boy on Saturday. Congrats to me. If anybody didn't know, I'm having another kid, so I'm having a boy. So I wanted to announce that on the Real podcast show. Keeping it real. So that's one thing. So I said, that's Real Day Podcast show. That's what we do. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna shout at this one. Yeah. So like the story behind like I'm not a bad guy, but I have been bad guys. I have been a bad guy in period of times in my life. That because of because of the tragic story. Because if it's not a good, because if it's not a, you know, I say my story is tragic because all my, you know, what I'm saying all my, you know, what I'm saying relationship ended up bad. So I end up being, I also, so I end up finding myself being a reflection of that bad relationship, and that's one of the definitions of not healing. You know what I'm saying? You just bleeding on someone who didn't even cut you. That's what you really do when you do that. Dropping them, dropping them. With that being said, and like my story started off like, man, like I started off. I guess you know what I'm saying. I really did, and I don't blame no. And it's one of the things like I don't blame nobody for my grown ass problems. I ain't never, I you know what I'm saying. I ain't never blamed nobody for my grown ass problem. But if you ask me the story about it, then if they in the story, they in the story. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the story. That's what we're here for. And um, I know that it started out for me young, like abandonment. You know what I'm saying? It started for me young, you know, with my father and stuff like that. But you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, man, he had two kids and he was 21 years old. Like, man, you know what I'm saying? Most dudes, you know what I'm saying? Most dudes ain't gonna do that, right? So I mean, I'm 40, so I understand the real world. Because if I had two kids at 20, I don't think I would. I mean, I think I would have did it right. It would have been hard, but some people don't want to go through the struggle to, you know what I'm saying, to make happen that the situation they created. That's a lot of the reasons why niggas run away because they feel like it's already hard. But you know what? Every situation you create, every situation you create, you gotta handle. That what makes you a man. Good or bad. If you create something, you gotta, you know what I'm saying? You gotta take care of it. And so with that, you know, started like so I never seen like even with my mom, like I never seen like the real value of a woman, or I never seen the real value of a woman until after I found out when a woman value showed me. When that's when I didn't know how to treat and know how to be, and wasn't even on that level. I had to find out the value with, you know what I'm saying, and what certain type of women won't deal with and what they won't do with because they got self worth and foundation. You know what I'm saying? The things that I wasn't taught to be attracted to and be mindful of. So that's how I found out about that. A real woman that got integrity, women who got truth, women who got, you know what I'm saying, women who genuine. I found that out like the hard way. I had to lose them because I didn't know how to keep them. So yeah, and so it started out with that, and then so I remember by myself, you know what I'm saying. Like I said, I never seen value, never shown it, never seen it. So I didn't know what it was. I mean, I seen it on TV, but it's like at the end of the day, you say, yeah, so some TV has some truth to it, but it's still, you know what I'm saying, still TV, you know. Like that, out of this thing. Uh, and then so I start getting into so getting into like I start getting into like porn like early in my life. I remember I said the podcast before, so it's not new, but I had said I remember my first porn movie I watched was like I was like 7, and it was called Junk in the Trunk. And I remember we had like Time Warner Cable, and it was on, it was on the Playboy channel, but it was down, what I'm saying, down. Then it had Urban, you know what I'm saying. So I clicked on it. It was like $20, and then when my mom was sending the bill for the course, I like said something, so I ain't had no money. She didn't like mad. She wasn't mad at anything like that. She was just like, "Hey, just don't do that again, okay?" I'm like, okay. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't really know what to say, or it was just like a proud moment. Like, okay, he like girl. You know what I'm saying? And she checked it out. She was like, okay. And then she just kind of just knew like, kind of like the direction I was going. She was like, she told me now. She was like, yeah, I seen a long time ago. Like when you got to a certain age, that you just gonna start being like, what I'm saying, like your father, like you got, you know what I'm saying, like that, what I'm saying, that womanizer, and you know, and all that stuff gonna come out. Something just it was gonna have something. It's something was gonna have to trigger you to just be like, I'm in savage mode. You know what I'm saying? So like I was never I was never considered a good guy until probably 30. Yeah, I remember that probably the first person that ever told me that. And it, but see, the thing is, but then it was the truth, you know. Because you can't just be a good guy in one lane. You gotta be a good guy in several lanes. And so my story started out like from like 19 into like 28. I was a whole different person. Had a I had a God complex. Um, you know, learning as I go can put you in a lot of bad positions. You know what I'm saying, with no direction. You know what I'm saying? You just going out what you think you know, and when you thinking of what you know, and then you don't know, slippery slope. You just going down the rabbit hole. And so mm, that happened to me a lot. Dealing with all kind of women, like that even what I'm saying, like I had like a lot of one night stands, like going to the club, meet somebody, what I'm saying, break to the crib, what I'm saying, put on a show, and shit out the door. It's like and then like I used to do them like that, but then it was never like a, oh well, what's your number? Oh well, let's keep in touch. I was like, because I figured like, no, I ain't the first one you did this with. I could be the last. And I kind of just put you in the category box. You know what I'm saying? So nothing go no party in that. Because like I ain't seen people who done that and it really never came out good for them. So I'm like, man, that's stupid. And like I just felt like that was kind of like stupid anyway. But it's just me. You know, so one night stands gonna, you know what I'm saying? Hey, people, you know what I'm saying? Been married for 30 years. Just what I'm saying. But sometimes you can turn a moment, you know, sometimes you can turn a moment into a nightmare if you hold on to it too long. Let's go. Let's go. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Christina. Shout out to Love Life Lesson. Shout out to Nobi Ron. Ron. Shout out to shout out. Yeah. Mercy and Brandy Singleton. Let's go. Um we yeah, and so I pretty much how I started out was broken because I was like, you know what I'm saying? Like I was 15. I was a sophomore, you know what I'm saying, dating a senior high school. You know what I'm saying? Our facts. Our facts. Our facts. You know what I'm saying? The world seen it. I got pictures. And I was like, you know what I'm saying? That's when I moved to the sub, but I still had the projects in me, you know what I'm saying? Still had the projects on me. So she was just, you know what I'm saying? I dated for 2 years, you know what I'm saying? But then when she graduated, things turned different. That's when she was like 19, whatever, she started going to the club, started going, DMX and stuff like every Thursday and stuff. That's when I didn't know. That's when the club scene started popping Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You know what I'm saying? Once I got to a certain level, in terms to a certain age, in terms of levels, basically a certain level, really, when we keep with you, then I start hitting it. I start doing food, but we're gonna get to that. Shout out to Cicely Grace. I know I say her name wrong, but I listened to your podcast. Well, I listened to you. I listened to your podcast yesterday, and I listened to you on someone else's podcast today. You're very interesting. I appreciate you on the Real World J podcast show. And I know you come through. I know you come through when I'm on, and I really appreciate just that too. Yeah, because I be trying to, you know what I'm saying? I say my thing is showing love back. So if I listen, you know what I'm saying? If I listen, if you listen to me, I listen to you. That's showing love, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm really paying attention, and I'm up, and as soon as I see you, I'm like, man, I heard you. You know what I'm saying? That's what's up. That's love. So as much as you listen, I want to know what you want. I want to know what you want too. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I appreciate everybody listening. Um, and I thought, and like I said, and then like she started going down and stuff. And me, like, remember, I just turned 16. I don't know what's going on in the real world. Like I do a little bit, of course, but I don't know that part. You know what I'm saying? That part of the life. Dealing with a girl, she 18, 19, she going to the club, and you 16, you don't got a car, you don't do nothing. She got to come get you. You know what I'm saying? Not knowing that she's seeing dudes out there with woo, and you know what I'm saying? It's different, nigga. You looking different. You looking different. You looking a lot different. You are different now. She keeping you around just to save your feelings. So she don't gotta go through that. So she don't gotta go through this. She don't gotta go through your hurt. I don't. And so I was like, and then I didn't even notice it, but my homeboy noticed it. Shout out to him because he was older than me. And saying, let me know, like, man, say, man, say, look what's going on. Like, dang. Okay, cool. Caught it out. Didn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Her and her friend Keisha were going out. You know what I'm saying? So, mind you, that, you know what I'm saying? She was, I guess, the dude that she used to talk to before me. Remember, remember she was a senior. I was almost. He was in like I guess he was in jail, or whatever. And they were like riding back and forth like the whole time. She with me, and she with me for like 2 years. So me thinking like maybe I was just like the physical until he got home and she ended up being with that dude. So dumped me, dude out of jail. Dumped me, officially dumped me, and I was heartbroken. I was hurt. I was mad. I was angry at the world. I didn't have nobody to talk to about my emotions and my feelings. So I said, man, I'm just gonna turn it. I'm gonna turn all that negative energy and all that towards anybody who's in my way. Meaning women, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, shoot, that's how women do. That's not how women do. But remember, at the time, I'm like 18. I'm just like, I'm 18, 19. I'm like, man, that's what y'all do? Oh, okay, wow, that's what y'all do. Nice. No guys, no nothing right there. I'm just going. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I was just going, you know what I'm saying? So I was just going and rolling and just trying to figure it out. And then so I ended up just having a vicious cycles. So I just made this so I made this guy come so I made this guy complex. So I created it. Like I created like a plan for it. I created arterias for it. I created like time. It was my life and whoever was in it was, you know what I'm saying? Like it was all mapped out, planned out and everything. You know what I'm saying? Like I spent time with somebody on Monday, then spent some it's my time on, you know what I'm saying, on Tuesday, Wednesday. You know, then I, you know what I'm saying, I rest on Thursday, you know what I'm saying? No, hold on. Then Monday and Tuesday. Monday and Tuesday, I rest on Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? See somebody for a little bit. Then I go out to the club Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And whatever I do between that is what I do between that. That could be anything. Hang out, fucking, whatever. So that was the pretty much. And then I got yeah, story of a bad man. It's just a turns, you know, and just like, damn, okay, cool. I see how you got there. And not just break it down all the detail. But then I remember that. So I had so much of a, so cause that led me to like, because the reason why that hurt led me to my God complex because it gave me a reason. Because it made me reason right. Okay, I would never feel that way ever again. I would never. I literally told myself that was that was like the headliner. Like I would never make a woman, and a woman would never make me feel like this ever again. And that's what it was. And after that, I had, you know, just like a pyramid. I had planned. I had boom, like boom. I wanted that a woman who had kids. You know what I'm saying? And the reasons and the reasons and I had reasons why, like beside the explanation marks, like why, and because my and then I will have an answer to my question. I sure did. That's the only time I wrote because I wanted to because I wanted my life to be my life. Like I never slept with a woman without a condom because I didn't want to have kids. The kids was gonna mess up everything, gonna blow up my plan. Just follow the rules to your plan, and nothing will be broken. And you can do in your plan, and that's what I did. Just with the women, because I worked, and I worked every single day. I worked every single day, 6 days a week, never late. I did overtime. I still made time. That was my that made time. So yeah, Real World J podcast show. We'll give you a little snippet because Sunday night episode is gonna be phenomenal. You know we do some Sunday nights, and we do Sunday podcast. The podcast with me. So I was giving y'all a little snippet. I know it's Saturday. I love y'all for pushing in, coming in. Love y'all. And then we're gonna go a little bit more. We're gonna go to the next part on tomorrow about the struggle. Just to leave out with a tidbit. It's like when I was dealing with one girl, she was dealing with an agency that dealt with like on the agency that only dealt with couples that wanted a boost in their life or wanted an extra partner in their situation. And so I used to work for uh, I used to work for um, staffing agency. You know what I'm saying? So they introduced me to they introduced me to the chokehold community. I'm just like, so, see, you know what I'm saying? Well, fuck yeah, without no guidance. That's part. See, that's where I'm gonna leave off, and that's where we're gonna start tomorrow. Real World J podcast show. Let's go. I'm gonna get real deep in detail.